Hello guys, Kim Jong-Lee here, and I'm back with another online commentary battle for Total War. Haven't done one of these for a while. It's a 1 versus 1 CWB rules battle, and this is another battle submitted by one of my subscribers, Spitfyre over here. Um, yeah, this is a fairly old replay, so it's definitely not representative of the skills of any of the players here, but with Spitfyre here, back in his Rogue Renine days, which was the training clan of RV. So this was quite a while ago, and his opponent is Scippy of the AO clan, which is now disbanded. I forgot what AO actually stood for. I think it was Alpha Omega. I think that's it. So we'll go through the matchups. We have Pontus here. Spitfire's got two Chariot archers. Slash Chariots, probably some hidden as well. 6 gold archers, 5 gold, whatever gold bronze shields, peasant. Scippy's got some very good heavy inf, royal pikemen, about 5 of those guys. A lot of light cavalry, Greek cav, light lancers, companion cav, archers, Cretan archers, etc. So, we'll just get the battle started. I feel like in this matchup, I would find it more difficult if I was Macedon, even though Macedon might be favored. Just because I find Pike Micro more difficult than like Cav Micro. But I guess if your Pike Micro is pretty good, Macedon is a fairly good matchup against Pontus because you have the better archers in the Cretans, and the pikes obviously kill the chariots, and the archers just make them run amok. Scippy's hitting them over here, so I mean not Scippy, Spitfire's hitting them over here, so Scippy's gonna have to try and get into range and try and flame those chariots if he can. It's Pontic light cav, very powerful light cavalry, very annoying to deal with as well. So we're going to see some of Scippy's chariot archers start shooting here. Looks like he's got 2, 4, 6 cav units here, so it's probably 2 chariots hidden over here. I mean, if he has any more, he's breaking the rules, so that's just what I'm assuming. Peasant unit here is absorbing a bit of missile fire, so a mistake on Scippy's part. But as you can see, Pike Marker is very difficult because, you know, it's very hard to lose formation, tight formation, put your pikes down and time it all correctly. Whereas cavalry, you can kind of just point and leave it, or point and move it around. It's not too difficult. And also, every time you move back, you get shot to pieces by Pontus. So I find it's quite difficult for 2 micro pikes. But Scippy's probably, I don't know, maybe he's just disoriented. He's moving a bit all over the place. This is pretty much what I do when I'm against a half decent player like Spitfyre. Everything just goes to shit and I can't micro for anything. But he's like definitely distracting Scippy a bit, and he's going to leave his things a bit vulnerable here. He's moving his pikes all over the place, he's moving his archers all over the place. As you can see, Spitfire's just going to go for like have charge here, so he's going to go for a charge here, but Spitfire reacts in time to get some pikes down, but looks like Scippy's micro hasn't done him any favors, and some of his cav is going to get caught there, so definitely lost a bit more than he should. Also, he's lost 1 archer unit here. He's got to be very careful or he might lose more. It's very difficult, and I mean, you can try and make a kind of circular shape like all the pro people do, but like pikes are just hard to micro, man. I find it difficult as well. I always fail when I try to make a semicircle or whatever with my pikes to try and stop the chariots and stuff. In theory it works, but in practice it's a lot more difficult than it looks. But Scippy is in a very bad spot now. I mean, the Archer War has not done him any favors. It hasn't gone his way. He has routed these 2 Pontic Light Cab, which is very nice, but I mean, they're still still more roaming around. This one's about to catch another archer unit here. It's a Cretan archer as well. So probably just more shooting and running away. So yeah, I think Scippy's definitely on the back foot just because of the archer war. He hasn't done too well in that. Pontus like have unit here being a bit mismicroed by Spitfyre, but keeping these archers at bay. Losing a Cretan archer is very devastating because they cost a lot of money and they're one of your best archer units, so you really don't want to lose that, especially with such a big unit. Like, this probably had more than 20 guys starting out, but just got cut down by the cav. Peasants also absorbed some missile fire, which was good for Pontus. Scippy's gonna have to push up now. I mean, even if you just look at the pikes, these guys are gold. These pikes, gold silver or gold or silver gold. So even these pikes, there are 5 of these, so they can probably hold off these royal pikes for a little while. And then all Spitfyre has to do is get his chariots in there, kill some of the cav, and that should be pretty much his win. But Spitfyre is gonna consolidate his current lead. He's gonna keep retreating, keep shooting, and basically all the confusion Scippy had at the start, you can see he just leaked units everywhere. All these units are dead because of archer fire. So yeah, the archer war is very important. It's much more important for Scippy, I'd say, because he came in with an archer advantage, and he was kind of expected to win the archer war. But if he doesn't, then he's kind of forced into these awkward situations where he has to use his infantry aggressively, and you almost never want to do that when you bring such a heavy infantry build in CWB, because playing defensive with like this amount of infantry and against this many like skirmish things is not pretty. They do manage to catch one bronze shield, which is probably a mistake by Spitfyre. Nice catch by Scippy there. Spitfyre roaming around with these chariots. Side chariots also here. Was this the hidden unit? Maybe I was mistaken. It only has one hidden side chariot. Oh well. Side chariots coming out now, making an appearance. Scippy maybe doesn't see it or something, or maybe he does, but he turns around too. Oh, he does see it, but he turns around too late, and they're not on flame, so that's not going to work out for him. These chariots are just gonna mass route this entire section. You have 2 chariots here. The infantry just run. The archers break. The infantry break, and that's half of Scippy's guys gone. The other half is doing okay in the infantry fight, but the odds are certainly stacked against him at the moment. All his archers are dead now. Chariots had killed them all. Chariots are very bad for chasing archers, but as you can see, a lot of these archers routed with still a few men, quite a few men left. So that's because they probably routed because of the chariots' fear-inducing ability. Scippy doing some work himself over here, routing 1 or 2 archer units. But these side chariots are going to freak the hell out of these royal pikes, and as long as he plays it carefully, he has still very good. Scippy is pretty much doomed. Spitfyre is in very good shape at the moment. But the infantry fight is not going. Oh, now it is. Well, before it wasn't going Spitfire's way, now it is because the general routed here. Although his infantry isn't as good, these archers do make up for it, and yeah, we'll wait and see what happens. I doubt Scippy will have enough pike units left to do the last stand box, but if he does, it could prove troublesome for Spitfyre, but Spitfyre has just tons of these archer units left. Even 3 of them is probably enough with only this many pikes left. And the chariots, fear factor is coming into play, getting these units around very, very quickly. As you can see, there's 15 guys, and they just rout before contact. Yep, Spitfyre is using his chariots very well here. You don't want to use chariots on pikes. You just want to put them behind the pikes, make your opponent scared, maybe turn around sometimes, and maybe you can get her out just through the fear effect. But I mean, Scippy had missed defeat, which is fair enough. Fair enough. There was just too many archers left, and too much infantry left as well. I feel like it all started when Scippy, you know, messed up his formation or whatever, and you could see at the start that he seems very disoriented. He was moving his units all over the place. They were getting shot and they weren't shooting back. And Spitfyre just kind of snowballed the archer fight from there. And Scippy never really could bring it back. He tried to push with the infantry, which was sort of his only option left. But I mean, he did okay with the push, but without the archers, it kind of wasn't enough. And Spitfyre just had too much gas left in the end. Good game to both players. Moro played the Spitfyre. I guess the build was slightly unorthodox with a little bit more light cav. Definitely a tech against Macedon because Macedon, I guess he kind of predicted Macedon wouldn't bring as much heavy cav, so he didn't need as many chariots, and he predicted correctly, I guess, if that was what he was after. Scippy here, I know what he was going for with his build. It was probably something I would have gone with as well, and to be honest, I probably couldn't have done any better than he did. I always stuff up my pikes, I always mess it up, and I never actually managed to win with the pike factions in CWB. So yeah, well played to him as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Keep sending me replays as always, and I will see you guys next time.